Hi, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Seller Board Show. My name is Vladi, and today I'm joined by CJ Rosenbaum from AmazonSellersLawyer.com. CJ is a lawyer who specialized in helping Amazon sellers deal with suspensions and all kinds of legal issues. And we talk about listing and account suspensions and how to stay out of trouble with that, about hijackers and how to keep them away from your listing, about IP issues and patent issues. But also about things like brand violation, what you can do to prevent these things from happening. So please give us a like if you like this episode, and make sure you subscribe underneath this video. And before we start, a quick word about our sponsor. Sellerboard.com is a financial analytics tool for Amazon sellers, and we're on a mission to build the world's most precise and most accurate profit analytics tool. So if you want to see your profit by unit, by variant, by SKU, by brand, by marketplace on every single day or in a period of time like a week or month, and do business intelligence, basically explore your fees and drill down into all expenses on every product to make sure that every single one is profitable, and act on the unprofitable products, then go check out our free trial. We have a 1-month free trial, and after that it's only $19 a month. And for that you're going to get basically a profit and loss statement in real time in different forms of visualizations, and a ton of other cool features. And now let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Seller Board Show. My name is Vladi, and today I'm joined by CJ Rosenbaum. Hello, CJ.
Vladi, thank you very much for having me on. Really great to see you.
Thanks so much for coming. So, CJ, tell us, please, about yourself. What are you doing?
Well, I'm the founding partner of a law firm in New York that does nothing but focus on Amazon sellers. We write the best plans of action if you suffer a listing suspension or an account suspension. We deal with intellectual property right issues, whether you have your own brand and you need to protect it, or you receive complaints from others. And we also represent sellers when Amazon refuses to release your money to you. We can take Amazon to arbitration and get an order ordering Amazon to give sellers their money, return their inventory, and all sorts of other things that, when they refuse, we can get an order overriding their refusal.
Nice. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about that. So tell me what, I see your URL in the background. That's AmazonSellersLawyer.com, right?
Yep, this is us. We have the largest depository of information from any website around the world. We're up to like 2,000 or 3,000 posts, and we're putting all of our books also online. So we give out tons and tons of free information. We have hundreds of videos for sellers, and it's all accessible through the website for free. I'm a big believer of giving people the information that they need to do better.
Awesome. Cool. So tell me, how did you decide actually to focus on Amazon sellers? How did you find this topic?
Like a lot of sellers, it just sort of happened. I was a trial lawyer in New York for like 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I went through a divorce. I went through a really nasty custody battle. And the judges at that time didn't get a raise for like 12 years. So they weren't trying any cases. Mm-hmm. And one of my clients, who was an entrepreneur, came in and his account got suspended, and he needed help. And there was nobody out there who was a professional. Mm-hmm. So I looked at it and I started studying Amazon, studying plans of action. And I thought this was a great market, working with entrepreneurs that I love. And personally, it was a good time for me to make a change. Mm-hmm. So I studied for about a year, and then we launched the website. And now fast forward multiple years later, we are the #1 company in the world helping Amazon sellers. And we have staff in both coasts of China. We have staff in Europe. We have staff in Australia. So we can help sellers, 24 hours a day, about 5.5 days a week.
Wow, that's awesome. So you also you're also working in China and those countries and in Europe as well, right?
Yeah, our work in China, there are tons and tons of sellers in China. So we help legitimate sellers in China. It
Mm-hmm.
also helps us when you have Chinese hijackers to
Mm-hmm.
have boots on the ground that
Yeah.
can go and meet with these business owners to explain to them what they're doing wrong and to work
Mhm.
out resolutions to get them off your listings.
Oh, that's awesome. Actually, let's start with that. So tell me, like, because I know from our listeners that hijacking is a big problem. If you're doing private label business, if you have a product which is similar to other products, or sometimes the hijackers even go ahead and change the images and change the text, and then you keep selling your product, and the customers start complaining that's not what I bought. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what can a seller actually do if they get hijacked?
I totally agree with you. Private label selling is the future. So if you're a seller right now, start thinking about developing your private label brand. It's vital for the future. You develop something that you own. So let's say you develop a product, you have your private label brand, okay? You should absolutely have a trademark, 100%. If you haven't done it yet, it's really easy. You don't have to hire a lawyer. You can do it yourself, but get a trademark.
Mhm.
Then you want to get brand registry, and that makes it really easy to address hijackers. You can knock them off if they're selling counterfeit products, and even if they're selling the same exact product that you are selling, you can build something into your product that a hijacker cannot deliver.
Mhm.
We have a whole list of things that you can build in that we can help sellers make what they deliver to the customer different than what a hijacker delivers. And
Mhm.
that is the key to sweeping hijackers off your listing, that you deliver something that
Yeah.
nobody else can.
Okay, I get it. So I guess there's some homework for our listeners to do here. So first of all, register a trademark. Tell me quickly, how does this work in the US in case somebody doesn't have a trademark yet?
All right, it sounds really complex, but it's not. All they have to do is go to uspto.gov,
Mhm.
United States Patent Trademark Office, uspto.gov.
Mhm.
The website looks like it was built in like 1996.
Mhm.
So for guys our age, it's really easy to use. And what you want to file is just the name of your brand. That's it. You don't need the fancy drawing. You don't need your logo. Just do it yourself, file for your brand name,
Mhm.
and either it will get approved or you'll get back what's called an office action. But either way, you can do that first step yourself. I think it's $250
Mhm.
per classification, per type of goods.
Mhm.
And anyone listening to this, they can do it themselves. You don't have to pay a lawyer. We
Mhm.
can do it for them, but you can do it yourself.
Mhm. Do you like need a company registered in the US to do this?
No, anybody anywhere in the world can file with the uspto.gov and get the mark. In fact, the largest number of sellers, the largest number of people that file are located in China by
Okay.
far.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Okay, got it. So assume I filed, I filed a trademark. I have my trademark. Then I deal with a brand registry. I guess I believe there's a form that you have to fill out on Amazon, right? Then you get approved. So, and the third thing you said was we need to build some differentiator, which a hijacker cannot necessarily put into the product. What do we do if we still get hijacked?
Well, what you're doing, even without a trademark, sellers can build certain things into their product that other
Mhm.
people can't deliver.
Mhm.
Like a certain warranty that says you're going to repair it at the same place it was built, participating in recall notices if there's something wrong with the product, providing future services
Mhm.
for that product, or like future newsletters or trademark or copyright material.
Mhm.
So even if you don't have a mark, you can build in a lot of things to the product to get rid of hijackers.
Mhm.
So let's say you're doing all this, you have the tools that you've built in already. Now you have hijackers.
Mhm.
We suggest that you first contact the hijackers
Mhm.
and you ask them to stop selling.
Mhm.
You don't have to do this, but we think it's smart because
Yeah.
60 or 70% of the sellers will just get off the listing.
Mhm.
Okay. We
Yeah.
also think that it prevents animosity. It prevents like seller versus seller kind of dirty tricks.
Yeah.
So that's what we recommend you do. First, try and work it out amicably. And then if you can't, then you make a complaint on Amazon. And the form is so easy to use. But we really think that sellers should try and work things out amicably and not like needlessly hurt another seller.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So we write an email, and do you have like a tip where we can find a good text, or how does this look like? Hello, seller, please stop selling my product.
It
Regards.
could be as simple as that. You
Mm-hmm.
want to send an email. If you look on our website and run a search, I know we have articles on this on our website.
Mm-hmm.
Go to AmazonSellersLawyer.com. The search
Mm-hmm.
bar is on the top right,
Mm-hmm.
and put in like IP complaint or something like that, and we'll give you the language, or just email me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll personally give you the language. It's really easy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're basically pointing out that they're violating your IP rights. The consumer's not getting the same thing, and could they please stop selling?
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't have to make a complaint.
That's awesome. I think that's actually also the easiest way, because if it works, it costs you just one email, and then you're done. All right, got it. Okay, so what if things get more serious? You mentioned listing suspensions and account suspensions. Let's talk about listing suspensions. What's that?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
When Amazon has an issue with you, either from Amazon itself or a customer,
Mhm.
they are either going to suspend your account or suspend that individual listing. Okay.
Okay.
If it's an individual listing, what you need to do is draft what's called a plan of action.
Mhm.
Okay. And we do that for sellers all over the world, that identifies what the cause of the problem. We call it the root cause.
Mhm.
It identifies what you did to try and make that seller happy right away, which is usually giving them a refund
Mhm.
and offering to let them keep the product for free. And then the third section is how you make your business better in the long term, so that Amazon doesn't have problems with you in the future.
Mhm.
And it's just three simple sections. And if any of your listeners want me to send them a free copy of our book on how to avoid suspensions and how to write your own plan of action, I got about 1,000 extra copies, okay, right next to
Oh
me.
wow.
But I could also send it by PDF. Usually, if they are in the domestic United States, I'll send them a hard copy. If they're
Yeah.
outside the US, I'll just send them a copy for free by PDF.
Oh, that's cool. So what do we need to do to get a free PDF copy?
Just shoot me an email. Shoot an email to me, CJ at Amazon Sellers Lawyer,
Mhm.
CJ at AmazonSellersLawyer.com, and I'll
Got it.
email them a free copy to book, or I'll send them a hard copy.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks. Okay, got it. So tell me, like, what can we do as sellers to prevent listing suspensions? I mean, of course, you don't do evil and don't send, I don't know, fake products or broken products. That's clear. But I guess that might also happen to somebody who's doing everything right. Like, what would you recommend?
Well, the most common reason for either a listing or an account suspension is either what Amazon calls inauthentic
Mm-hmm.
or an intellectual property complaint. So if you're buying and reselling goods and you are get an inauthentic,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do is just have all your invoices ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
As you source your products, save those in an organized way so you can send them out right away.
Mm-hmm.
To avoid the suspension, you really want to do some research on the forums to see which brands are giving sellers a hard time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazon is terrible. Amazon makes complaints all the time. The complaints are mostly baseless, but there's no reason to get into Amazon, no reason to get into selling Apple, because you're just going to draw a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the brands that are asserting complaints change week to week. Like last week, Lego, right?
Okay.
Lego Toys made a ton of complaints. So you just want to do a little bit of research. What is problematic, and stay away from them.
Okay, so it's mostly for like online arbitrage sellers and wholesale sellers for selling known brands, right?
Yes.
In
Yes.
authentic. Okay, okay, I got it. All right. So, what about the account suspension? What's the most common reason for an account suspension?
It's either inauthentic,
Hmm.
you sold as new, or an intellectual property issue.
Okay.
Um, what sellers really want to avoid also the last month or so is getting on listings where they don't actually have the inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Online arbitrage or retail arbitrage, where you're sourcing the products once you have the order.
Yeah.
Because if you're jumping on a listing and you don't have inventory, you don't have an invoice that has the right dates on it.
Oh, okay.
So the days of jumping on a listing and finding the goods afterwards, I think those days are over. You're just putting yourself at risk. So I would definitely not get involved in getting on listings unless you actually have the inventory, in your hands.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And like you mentioned, IP issues? Like, what's that?
That is when a brand accuses you of selling counterfeit products, claiming that you're not delivering to the customer the same thing, or using like their logo and taking like the Nike logo and having your own hat made up. That's a trademark violation.
Okay.
A copyright violation is when you use somebody else's pictures or you cut and paste their verbiage. And patent issues are when you're copying someone else's product. They have either a design patent or a utility patent. Those are intellectual property issues.
Okay, let's start with the patent, because I think that's the hardest thing to find when you're sourcing a product. And I know this from a couple of friends. Sometimes you find a cool gadget on Alibaba, and you're like, "Oh, that looks cool. Why don't I sell it?" And it might be actually patented, right, in some country. So, how do I go about researching if something is patented?
Well, it depends on how much money you're investing, right? Let's say you're investing like $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 US. You may just then want to do the research yourself because you're taking a risk, okay? But you're going to give yourself protection by doing the research yourself. You could do it. Google Patents is a really easy way of doing it. Or again, going to USPTO is pretty easy to do also, and you're going to do a search. If you're investing, let's say, more than $5,000 or $10,000, and you're going to get like, a container full or 2 containers full of products, then you want to have an IP lawyer like us or somebody else check the research for you, because the Chinese factories and the Chinese middlemen often tell sellers there's no patent on it, and a lot of times there is. So before you put big bucks into something, you want to at least get someone who knows how to do the research, and they can tell you it's totally safe, it's totally violating someone else's rights, or somewhere in between, so that you can then make a good decision.
Okay. All right. So, like pictures, I guess with respect to the pictures, we shouldn't just use somebody else's pictures, but like sometimes you have maybe something else on the picture which might violate a copyright. Is that a problem? Like for example, I'm making this up, selling socks, and I have a picture of somebody with a Nike shoe on just to show my socks. Like, is that a problem?
No, you're selling the socks, and the Nike shoe is just sort of a prop. You may have a problem with other Amazon listing issues because you're only supposed to have the product itself. But for the most part, I would say like 98%, if you're taking your own picture or you're paying a company to take a new picture for you, you're not going to have a violation of anybody's copyright. If you use somebody else's picture, then you will.
All right. Oh, that's interesting. So, guys, take your own pictures. That's, I guess, the recipe to stay out of trouble. And what about the brand itself or the text? Like, I was researching some brands, actually also Sellerboard in Germany, and I found it's kind of hard to find a brand which doesn't exist, right? Because I know you need to be like optically different. It needs to be a different word, and it may not, at least here in Europe, it may not sound similar. Right. So even if I like write Nike in a different way, NAIKY or something, that still might sound similar, right? So I kind of had the feeling the safest thing to do is just to make up a brand out of random numbers and letters, and then trademark it. So what do you think about this? How do we actually invent a brand name which doesn't violate somebody else's brand?
Okay, basically it all boils down to consumer confusion, okay? And I'm only a lawyer in the United States. I hope to be a barrister soon, or not a solicitor in the UK soon. But right now I'm only admitted in the United States, okay? But almost the law around the world is practically the same, except for China, where it boils down to whether or not that consumer is going to be confused as to what is the source of the product, okay? So even if you spell Nike differently, consumers can be confused, and that would likely violate. If it's something else, right, then it won't. If it's like Apple shoes, it won't. Also, if you use the word Apple, it can't be in the consumer electronics, right? Because that would cause confusion. But could you sell Apple shoes, for example, and not violate Apple Computer Company's rights? 100%, as long as there's not another Apple shoe company.
Yeah, as long as they don't start selling smart shoes or something like this.
Exactly, exactly. So as long as they're not selling smart shoes and you're not causing any consumer confusion, you should be okay. But it's really easy to double check it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what we charge, okay? So let's say you're going out and you're going to order $50,000 of like, this type of cup, right?
Yeah.
Instead of you spending 100 grand and going blind, we charge 750 bucks. That's
Okay.
it. It takes us about a half a day. We
Mm-hmm.
go through it, and then we write you an opinion letter, whether you're safe, whether it's a disaster, or somewhere in between. Or you can easily do it yourself if if your risk is not enough to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
Check Google Patents, check USPTO.gov, and you'll get a sense yourself whether you think it's safe or not. Then you balance, risk versus reward.
Yeah. So it's 750 for a patent and a brand check.
For brand checks, we can do basic patent research and tell you whether it's clearly violating.
Mm-hmm.
The patent bar in America is different. It's a totally separate organization.
Mm-hmm.
We have a patent lawyer we work with,
Mm-hmm.
but we can tell you whether it's clearly violating
Okay.
or clearly free. It's the in-betweens when it comes to patents that get a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I would definitely do this. So if you're going serious about building a brand, then I think it's a good investment. So tell me, like, when we're in trouble, hopefully nobody will get suspended, but this happens, right? So what does the seller need to do? Like,
okay, first, don't freak out. Okay.
okay,
Don't have a heart attack. Don't have a heart attack. Nobody's dead. It's just a bump in the road, like every other business has bumps in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to look at what is the issue that Amazon is hitting me with. Okay. And then you want to identify what caused that issue.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately want to give the customer back their money and offer them a free one. Treat the customer like they're right, even when they're wrong.
Yeah.
Let them keep it. Send them an extra one. Send them an extra two. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then identify how you can prevent that problem in the future. I mean, the goal for Amazon's people reading plans of action is to be comfortable that they're not going to have more problems with you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to identify that and give it to them.
Okay. So, are you actually providing some like an emergency help in these situations in case someone does freak out?
Every day, every day, all day long. I've got a team of 30 people in the rooms behind me. We work in a collaborative environment where we promise our clients a 2-day turnaround on their plans of action. And if it's really an emergency and they're really stressed out, we can often do it the same day. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're giving Amazon a really persuasive plan of action that first time around.
Yeah.
Because there are certainly times where they limit how many times you can write to them. And each time they say no, it makes it harder to win.
Yes.
So that's why I say don't freak out. Don't freak out and send them something right away that's garbage.
Yeah.
Take the time to think about it. If you want to hire someone else to write it for you, they're going to need a little bit of time to make sure they're doing a really good job on that first time. We call it that first swing at the plate. That first plan of action is really important if you want to get back quickly.
All right. Cool. So you mentioned arbitration at the beginning. What's that? And you said you're getting money back from Amazon in the court, actually, right?
It's not court. If you look at the contract between every seller and Amazon, it's called the Business Solutions Agreement. And in that agreement, you agree to give up your right to take Amazon to court in exchange for resolving issues through arbitration. So when seller performance, seller support, policy teams, Bezos, the legal team, when all those clowns tell you no, they're not going to reinstate, and they refuse to send you back your money, we represent those sellers in we file an arbitration against Amazon, and whatever that arbitrator says, Amazon does. So if they override Bezos, they override policy teams. You have to have enough money at issue that it's worth the cost. It costs at least $7,000 to $8,000 in order for the whole system to play out. But let's say they're holding 50 grand of your money or $100,000 of your inventory, and they're refusing to give it back to you. Well, you have no choice. You have to go to arbitration to get it back. And that's what we do.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I actually didn't know that you can fight the devil. Cool.
You can. every seller has the right to take the decision making right out of Amazon's hands. Also, what we find is that this is a really big reason. Again, not to sell my services, but if you use a consultant or somebody else to write your plan of action and they've never handled an arbitration, they don't know what to do in the plan of action. They don't know what harm they're causing, because let's say a consultant tells you to admit to doing something wrong that you didn't do.
Yeah.
Right? You've just killed yourself with arbitration.
Okay.
Because you're going to claim that Amazon screwed you, and the first thing they're going to talk to you about is how you admitted to violating a policy. So don't admit to anything, okay? Don't admit to anything unless you did it and you know Amazon knows it, or else you should never admit. Your plan of action should be positive. This is how I can do better. This is how we changed our business. You never want to write down that you violated a policy, ever, unless there's no other choice and you know Amazon is aware that you did something wrong.
Very cool. Thanks so much, CJ. It was a pleasure having you here. So, guys, shoot a mail to cj@amazonsellerslawyer.com and get a free copy of CJ's Amazon Suspensions book.
Can I do one promotion? It's not of me, but I'd like to promote something before we wrap it up.
Absolutely.
Okay, and it's not me, okay? Sellers can choose to call us. They can choose to do it themselves. We're happy to provide information, okay? But what I do want to talk about to sellers is that if you're selling on Amazon, you're probably also shopping on Amazon. And if you're shopping on Amazon, Amazon has a killer program called Amazon Smiles, where if you buy through Amazon Smiles, you get to pick a charity, and Amazon donates a really small percentage of the sale to the charity of your choice. Our charity is called the Ty Lewis Campbell Foundation, Ty Lewis Campbell Foundation. It was started by a close friend of mine and his wife after they lost their son to cancer. And the foundation raises money to find better treatments and a cure for childhood cancers. So if you're shopping on Amazon, it costs you nothing. It costs the seller nothing. But please, please, please use Amazon Smiles, and please pick the Ty Lewis Campbell Foundation because it's just a great, great organization that just tries to help kids.
Okay, we're going to put the link down below, or rather the name, and the link is, I believe, smile.amazon.com, and then you can shop as usually. That's awesome. Thanks so much,
CJ. Thank you very much. Charity means a lot to me. So, Vladdy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for having me on.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and give us a like if you like this video. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And go check our profit analytics tool, sellerbar.com. It's the world's most precise, most accurate profit analytics built especially for Amazon sellers. We have a free trial 1 month, and after that it's only $19 a month. And we have a lot of extra features like money back reports, which help you identify lost and damaged inventory that Amazon basically owes you money for. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye, guys.